Oh my god! The girlfriend finally made Dan TDM his sandwich! What's up, everyone? Today we are reviewing the Orespawn mod. Yes, we're not even reviewing, we're not going to any of the places. I'm gonna showcase all the mobs, some of the cooler weapons, and stuff like that. And the ores, because it is Orespawn. Just note that if you really want to see everything, play the mod for yourself. You can't download it from the official website, but it's on the Curse Forge, it's on other websites. There's many ways to get it in Crazy Craft, so you can still play it if you want to. First off, the first ore we have is salt ore, and it's used in a lot of cooking recipes. Yeah, Orespawn has a lot of foods. It has pizza, it has Krabby Patties, it has love. So, a lot of foods. Not the greatest food, the poisonous potato. A lot of them are made using salt, like the BLT. Then we have amethyst. Now, emerald stuff can also be crafted, but amethyst is better than emerald. I'd recommend getting amethyst or emerald, most likely amethyst, to fight some of the bosses, like the bosses that you fight before Mobzilla. Though some of them, like the Kraken, you might want to wait till you get some ultimate. Then we have ruby. Ruby's actually really rare to find, rarer than these two even. But a lot of mobs drop it, and it is better than amethyst. Honestly, I often just skip to the uranium and titanium. Titanium and uranium, when you mine them, will just drop a nugget, which 9 nuggets will make an ingot. 9 ingots make a block, which blocks can be found in the Tree of Goodness. These are the blocks, use them for little decoration. And when you mix uranium and titanium, you'll get tools. So 1 uranium and 1 titanium ingot, plus iron and stuff makes a bow. 1 titanium, 1 uranium, plus iron makes sword, or shovel actually. And then we have the weapons. The emerald sword does 10 attack damage, the ruby sword does 20, and the amethyst sword does 15. So let's get like a creeper spawn egg. And you see, I mean, so a ruby just insta kills it. But then let's get to some of the bigger boys, the bigger weapons, and we might just actually test these on. But we have the attitude adjuster, the chainsaw. I believe these two are made using ultimate sword. This is made with nightmare stuff. It's actually weaker than ultimate sword. These two are stronger. But we have the nightmare sword, which is like 30 damage. We have the attitude adjuster. Oh, I forgot. Oh yeah, this those won't blow up, but this, the attitude adjuster, actually blows things up. So that's really cool. I meant to use the chainsaw. The chainsaw, you can actually like rev up. It does more than, but the chainsaw, interesting about it, it's basically like Tricapitator, cause it'll take a little bit longer to mine, but it will. It's gonna Tricapitate. It's taking a while. It's taking a while. Does it work better on like a normal tree? It will Tricapitate. Actually, these two I believe both made using the ultimate sword, which does actually less than both of these. But you have all of these do like in the 30s of damage, though this is of course before combat updates. So. And they all just mine super fast. And then you have the ultimate fishing rod, which is a really good fishing rod. Just imagine I fish something good. Cool thing about the ultimate hoe, it actually mines as a girlfriend 3x3, and it hydrates. So what already hydrated doesn't even need to be near water. So that's pretty cool. Honestly, this mod's so expansive. It's such a popular mod too. Like, Popular Mo's played it, Sky played it, Atlanticraft played it, and Crazycraft. Like everyone played it either in Crazycraft or on its own in mob battles. We'll get to these ones later. And then let's just show you the fun mobs. Like the you have the Squidzuka, which will shoot attack squids. If you actually kill too many attack squids, the Kraken will spawn, and they'll like attack you, they'll attack other things. But this is kind of cool. Next up we have the their staff, and like, you create thunder, and you basically just become God. It's crafted with rubies and diamonds. I don't know how this is crafted. A freaking ray gun, which is actually gotten by killing Jeffrey. You shoot it knocks you back a little bit, but it shoots like TNT basically. Then we have the ultimate bow and the skate string bow. Now the ultimate bow does like, let's see if we can get something. Mantis. The ultimate bow, you can like spam click it like this. Doesn't even need arrows. With the skate string bow, I don't believe it also needs arrows. You cannot spam click it. I mean, you can, but it won't do as much damage. However, it does more damage per shot. Is the Mantis immune to it? Honestly, the ultimate bow is better, but you see it does more damage fully charged up. But I'd honestly just say go with the ultimate bow. And then, of course, you have Big Bertha, which is made by crafting a lot of these parts. But we'll showcase these on basically everything we spawn, because we're cruel. We have 2 chests of mob things right here, so let's start by showing you the girlfriend and the boyfriend and some more of the peaceful mobs, you know. Basically we have a bunch of mobs. There's so much, and this isn't like, even there's like auto shelters, miner's dreams, there's 5. You got the brown ant dimension, the red ant dimension, the rainbow ant dimension, the unstable ant dimension, the termite dimension, and the moth thingy dimension. So many dimensions. Honestly, I recommend playing this mod or Crazy Craft or whatever on your own. It was in my modded survival series, and when we do another one of those, probably in a while, it will definitely be in it again. And so first off, we have the girlfriend and the boyfriend. Now, the girlfriend can be tamed by giving her, and there's many different variants, red roses. You can change her style. I remember Dante made a whole video just dedicated to the girlfriends. They will dance around, like, diamond blocks and stuff. They can be tamed as roses. They can be broken up with dead bushes. You can hold them in place with diamonds. They will take weapons. Some armor they'll wear, I believe, the pink Termelian. And then they'll throw shoes. The boyfriends can be tamed by giving them cooked food, and they will throw gaming controllers. They'll also drop the gaming controllers like the girlfriend drops shoes if you kill them. The girlfriend and boyfriend both get a little bit spicy in the water, and they both have some really fun voice lines. But next up we have the apple cow. It will drop apples as well as beef, and it's just pretty useful. But what's really useful, we have the crystal cows. These spawn in the crystal dimension. They're just like, they drop crystal apples. But these golden apple cows and enchanted apple cows are really useful. Now this is back when you could craft enchanted golden apples, but still it is incredibly useful as these will drop enchanted golden apples. I recommend getting a farm of these and definitely stocking up on those if you're going to fight one of the bigger bosses. Next up, we have the Mothra. Now this is one of the mini bosses, and the Mothra drops a nether star and all the Mothra parts, which can be used to make an armor, though it's probably will have amethyst by then, and I don't believe it's as good. But they'll also drop Mothra scales, which are needed to make Big Bertha. Now they'll shoot fireballs down like that, and they fly, but just so you don't destroy my setup and let them brutally murder you, you'll one-hit it with Big Bertha. Next up we have the Allosaurus, and they're a dinosaur found in the Red Ant dimension, as well as all the dinosaurs are found there, or you can spawn them. And there's many different, these can actually be tamed. Don't you dare, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Basically all these things will one-hit most of the mini-bosses. You have 500 damage with knockback 5, Bane of Electropods, Fire Aspect, 750 on the Breaking 5, and 670, which does less, but has a lot of damage, Sharpness 5, Smite, Bane of Electropods, Knockback, Looting on Breaking, and Fire Aspect. I don't know why this one does less damage, but whatever. The Cabosaurus can be tamed, / time set 0. And then we have Velocity Raptors, go fast. You have the Hydralisk, which are actually found in the wild. Next up, we have another one of the mini bosses, the Basilisk. I can't even recognize the egg. Look at me. And they drop Basilisk scales and some emerald stuff. And you will need to kill them also to get Big Bertha. And they will give you poison if you look at it. Of course, if I was in survival, and slowness. And I'm just gonna kill it. I mean, you see, it's like cool. It goes around and kills things. I believe they spawn in forests, near forests. Oh, the Mothra's committing forest fire, but I'm just gonna kill it now. Next up we have dragonflies. These are found pretty commonly on the map. They're friendly. Next up we have the Emperor Scorpion. These actually do spawn in the desert. And they will spawn mini scorpions, and they have very high defense. I actually don't one-hit it. I will two-hit it, with this. Next up we have just regular scorpions, and the Emperor Scorpion can spawn these, but they can also be found naturally. They'll sometimes give uranium or titanium, maybe? I don't know. Next up we have the Cave Fisher. I actually don't know what these are from. I don't know where these are found, but they look a little bit like scorpions. Next up we have baby dragons. These can actually be tamed by giving them raw beef. This one's actually mine because they spawned him. But, so, he's gonna follow me. I got the Basilisk scale from the Basilisk, got some emerald from the Basilisk. Next up, we have some other mobs. Next up, we have the Baronoxix, another dinosaur, pretty cool looking. We have which is a Metroid, basically, from Metroid. We have birds, these spawn across the island world. We have Kyuubi, which is basically Naruto, so Naruto's in this. And he'll drop redstone, he's found in the nether. We have the alien, which is pretty cool, he's very fast. And, I can one-hit him, but I forgot what he drops. I can hit him yet. He drops like redstone, and he has a really annoying death scream. And then we have the attack squids, and these are found in the water. They'll attack things, and I don't believe they die above water. Next up, we have... Oh my god, this mod joke is gonna be long. We have the water dragon. And the water dragon is another boss that needs to get Big Bertha, but they can also be tamed with water, with raw fish, and will help you, but I'd recommend killing one first just so you can get the Big Bertha part. They'll drop a bunch of fish, and maybe water dragon parts, which they'll shoot at you. They do not need to be in water. Next up we have the Sephirodome. Okay, it's gonna kill the water dragon. Sephirodome does actually not drop parts that you need to get it, but you can ride it, and also, kill it, and it drops a lot of good stuff. It's very hard to kill. I'd recommend having ultimate armor for it. It's very powerful. Though it is neutral, I believe. Next up we have the Oh No Don't, and this is actually a Kraken, or at least the Kraken. Kraken is needed to get Big Bertha, and it's definitely one of the harder mini-bosses. Just gonna kill it, and it actually requires 3 hits. Probably the hardest mini-boss, but we'll drop good stuff. Amethyst, so all sorts of good stuff, and somewhere in there's gonna be a Kraken scale, and it will just make lightning. Next up, we have a couple of bugs. We have the Jumpy Bug, which is also a Big Bertha part, and when getting lower will spawn stink bugs, spit bugs, who are like 100 health, and they'll spit at you. And we have the stink bug. These things are small, they spawn across the map, they're peaceful. And I forgot what they drop when killed. They like fart. Oh, and it gives you nausea. I don't know what the dead stink bug does. But it's there. Kinda cool. Next up, we have the ostrich. Now the ostrich and a couple of these mobs that I'm about to show you can actually be tamed and like battle each other like Pokemon, and it's a really confusing process. I'm not actually entirely sure on it, but they can be tamed by giving them corn or some sort of food, whichever, and then they'll be on like that side, and 2 players can tame it. So they can be like, you're basically like Pokemon. That's how Popular Mose described it. And basically then they'll fight each other. I'm not exactly sure, but the ostriches, gazelles, chipmunks, and not the creeping horror, will spawn across the map and can be tamed and make each other battle. Next up we have the Terrible Terror and the Cliff Racer. I forgot the Cliff Racer. Can the Cliff Racer be tamed? And they'll the Terrible Terrors will spawn in the Unstable Land Dimension. But you can tame those guys, and honestly, that's why it's better to do like the update showcases, like, but I'm showcasing the whole thing, so I can't showcase everything and every item because this mob's just so big. Next up we have the Triffid, which is another boss, which will drop green goo, and they'll basically make themselves go down. Oh, that thing's gonna kill it eventually. And it'll drop green goo. I was gonna hit it, and it's annoying because unless it's doing the thing, you cannot actually fight it. Next up we have the Nightmare. And the Nightmare, see, that's a small Nightmare, and that's going to get its ass whooped by the Sephirodrome. But there's many different forms of Nightmare. Do they all drop Nightmare scales? See, it drops Zookeeper's Shard. See, that's a Nightmare scale. But in the Unstable Ant Dimension, you don't know. This is a bigger one. And there's, I believe that's an 1,000 health Nightmare. That's an 1,000 health Nightmare. So, yeah, that's an 1,000 health Nightmare. So, actually, that might kill the Sephirodrome. I don't know, I lowered it pretty badly, but there's 500, or that may be 750 because of the armor, but there's many of them, and if you don't have ultimate armor, I would not recommend fighting a 750 or an 1,000 one. Next up we have the Lurking Terror and the Large Worm. Now actually there's Small Worm Spawn Egg, Medium Worm Spawn Egg, Large Worm Spawn Egg, but they all, it just spawns the Large Worm. And the Large Worm you get after fighting the Medium Worm, so I'm actually gonna show you the Small Worm, and the worm parts are needed to craft Big Bertha, but let me just get Worm. I thought they all spawned the same thing. And I'll just showcase it all. So the Small Worm, it spawns a Small Worm, which you kill, and then the Medium Worm, it'll spawn. Can they not spawn right in the desert? This might be it. I don't think they're supposed to spawn in the desert. So the Small Worm, he's like that, but he'll come back up. And then the Medium Worm, and then there's the Large Worm. But the Large Worm, yeah, normally when you spawn it in the desert, a bunch of them will come up, and then you have to kill the Small Worms and the Medium Worms, and then you'll fight the Large Worm. And they will take your armor. Next up we have the Castleroy, and it's just like, it's like an ostrich. I don't know if that thing can be tamed. And the Cloud Sharks, these things are pretty aggro, and they spawn in the Unstable Ant Dimension, and they float around. Next up we have the Goldfish. Next up we have the Goldfish. And the Goldfish flies around, and I don't know if it's aggressive. Next up we have the Leaf Launcher, and these spawn by some tree structures, and they'll spawn by spawners, and they will attack you. They're pretty weak, but the leaf structures have some decent loot. Next up we have the T-shirt, which just tells you to shop at the T-shirt site. They have 1 health, and they'll drop something random good. They're just like plugging their merch, but they might drop something good, like an Emerald Axe or something to get you started off. They're decently rare. Next up we have the Ender Knight and the Ender Reaper. These things will attack you, and they're pretty strong, but they're also pretty rare. They spawn in deserts and just at night. Next up we have the Beaver. I believe these things can also be tamed, like the Pokemon thingy. Next up we have the Dungeon Beast. Now I actually don't know where it spawns. I know it spawns like underground, but I don't know, like I think it's some dungeon that /set time 0. Time set. Alright, next up we have the rotator, and this thing's found in the crystal dimension as long as the vortex, which is actually needed to get Big Bertha. It's pretty weak, but you have to get the crystal dimension where your stuff will, your stuff will reset. So go in there with nothing. Next up, you have the peacock. The fairies will spawn in the natural, and they will attack mobs. You have the rats. The rats spawn. There's a rat sword. You have the flounder, which I believe is a fish, but he seems to be doing fine. You have the whale. Oh, these things are found in the crystal dimension, so let's spawn them where they belong. The whale, who's not as big as the other whale I've seen in modern Minecraft, but he's still pretty chunky and cool looking. You have the flounder. You have the Arachndri, who's really small, but you need to kill them. I believe they will attack you to get Arachndri stuff for the Arachndri arrow in the crystal dimension. You have the skates, and you have the crystal urchin, which in the crystal dimension. Next up, we have the Bomb from Mario, which will be found in the Rainbow Ant dimension, along with a bunch of other mobs, and they'll blow up like creepers, except they're way cooler because they're bombs. Wait, I didn't mean to do that. I'm an actual idiot. Where are the bombs at? Robo Pounder, Robo Gunner, Robo Warrior. Next up, we have the Robo Pounder, which I don't believe drops. They drop freaking ray guns. No, they do not. And they will pound you, and stuff like that. That sounded wrong, but oh, he's killing the whale. Stop it. Next up, we have the Robo Gunner, and they will basically just be like gunners. I have 2 Robo Pounders, and the Robo Warrior. They're all robots found in the dimension, but they're not as big as my boy Jeffrey Epstein. So let's get back to the chest and showcase some more mobs. Everything before Ghost. What was before Ghost? So yeah, I showcased that. Next up, we have the Ghost and the Ghost Skelly. These can be found in some structures, and I'm also going to show you the ants. I'm not going to click any of them because they do take into dimensions, and then I'm going to get back. But the dimensions are, and the round dimension is pretty laggy, but we're going to have to do one more thing after this. Almost 2 chest worth, double chest worth of mobs spawn eggs. So this mod is just massive, and I didn't showcase all the fun, quirky items, or all the dimensions even, which just is insane about this mod, how much there is jam-packed into it. It's sad I won't be getting any more updates, but that's drama that I've covered a little bit. Basically, the guy got bullied on Discord, people saying he wasn't doing it fast enough, but then he left, and he also scammed people that donate out of his money. And he's saying that he'll sue people that download it. He doesn't own the code. If you make Minecraft mods, Minecraft, I believe, automatically owns it. Plus, a lot of this stuff isn't even original, like the bombs and Metroids, and Mobzilla basically being Godzilla. So you have the ghosts and the pumpkin skellies, which are found in the wild, but you can punch them even though they're ghosts. Well, let me punch them. Do I have to sword them? I have to sword them. It doesn't show the damage that I've done, but I believe it did. Next up, your brown ants, which take you to the brown ant dimension with the king and the queen. The red ants, which will take you to the red ant dimension with dinosaurs. Rainbow ants, which will take you to the robot dimension. Unstable ants will take you to the boss rush dimension. Unstable ant dimension. Red ants, by the way, will attack you. And termites will. The termites, which will take you to the termite dimension, you can not go if you have an inventory. See, empty your hand. Or empty your hand. You have to empty your hand, but I believe also so maybe in creative, maybe not, so I'm just not going to risk it. Which will also turn wood into stuff, so just get it away from my chest in case, you never know. Butterflies will take you to the boss witch dimension, which is the boss's dimension. Moth. Wait, was there a difference? Is there a butterfly dimension and a moth dimension? Is it different? I don't think so. Mosquitoes. I don't believe they take you to a dimension. And fireflies. which for some reason was disappeared. Okay, and they'll spawn like in the grasslands. Next, you have the T-Rex, which is actually needed to make a Big Bertha part. They'll attack things. They're found in the Red Ant Dimension. The ghosts are getting annoying. Next up, we have the Hercules Beetle and the Mantis, which I actually showed a little bit earlier. And the Hercules Beetle will launch you up into the air. They're gonna fight. Mob fight. Popular most mob battles. Who will win? Wait. I thought the T-Rex would win, but... Oh, Hercules Beetle's gonna win this. Anyway, the Hercules Beetle, see, it's launching him up into the air. If I had time, I'd do win while mob fights. They're so fun. And the Mantis. The Mantis is one of the easier bosses. He'll drop a bunch of uranium. He'll drop like 3 pieces of 3 nuggets of uranium or titanium, maybe 2. And some diamonds and gold nuggets. And a Mantis Claw, which is 10 damage, but also needed to make Big Bertha. Picture frames. A lot of them drop that. I don't know if you want to picture frame your things. Next up, we have Stinky. I believe he can be tamed. I don't actually... He's found in the Unstable Ant Dimension. Oh. He just farted out some wheat. No wonder he's called Stinky. Next up, you have the Robo Sniper. These things wheel around. They're pretty easy. Oh, Stinky's friendly, I guess. He's fighting that. And he actually killed it. And there... I believe also you need those to shoot, whatchamacallit, the, freaking ray gun. And they're pretty common, but they're pretty weak. Next we have the coins, which will take you to Orespawn.com, but if you kill them, they're 1 health, or they might drop something cool, like a diamond. Next up we have the Easter Bunny. I don't know if he's an Easter-only thing, cause... Is he dropping rocks? Cause I know on Valentine's Day, when we filmed a video, I'm pretty sure there's, like, giant girlfriends that will attack you. I don't know, and then they just disappear the next day. We were already gonna do a Valentine's thing in the, whatchamacallit, the Minecraft Comes Alive mod, but then there was these things, and it was a weird episode. We didn't have even really doing much, because multiple things happened that episode. It was crazy. Next up, we have the Molenoid, and the Molenoid is another boss needed for Big Bertha, and there didn't used to be all these Big Bertha parts. But he'll basically make dirt if he sees an enemy around him, so, I don't know, or rubber ducky. Oh, see, he's making dirt, and he can't suffocate you, so watch out. But overall, he'll drop gold nuggets, stuff like that, a Molenoid part, and there is a Molenoid dungeon, but they'll spawn in the natural too, and, of course, the mob parts. Next, we have the Sea Monster, and he'll attack you in the sea. He's also needed to get Big Bertha. He's kind of cool, and he's not just brown because he's out of the water. He's always like that. He'll drop fish, some iron stuff, and there's a Sea Monster scale right there. Next up, we have Sea Viper. Also, like the Sea Monster, there's there's dungeons for all these guys, and the water, well, not all these guys, but the Sea Monster and Sea Viper both have similar like and look like a girlfriend and boyfriend spawner. I believe the only way to find a boyfriend in the wild other than spawn egg finding is that one structure, and girlfriend spawn naturally. He'll drop a Sea Viper scale, and he makes annoying noises, but I believe he gives you poison, and there's one structure that's really hard to break the spawners of, but it's good for finding them because they knock you back. Next up, we have the Caterpillar, who will turn into Mothra, and he'll make, like, cobwebs to stop you, and he also drops a bunch of ruby stuff. So, if we just whack him right there... Oh, does it not one-hit him? I thought it would one-hit him. I guess he's one of the bigger bosses. He has, like, 700 something health. Out of the mini-bosses. You see he drops ruby stuff, so that's a pretty easy way to get ruby. Easier than mining it. Next up, you have the rubber ducky. Now, actually, if I kill this, another one spawns. And it goes on like this for so long until a red one spawns. And then finally, it will die. It's a good source of feathers. Up, they're finally dead. And there's these rocks you can throw. They're like all over the place. Did the Easter Bunny live that? I want to play Orespawn in Easter. And like tracks the day wrong because I knew it was Valentine's Day that day. Next up we have the Hammerhead. Now this is found in an unstable ant structure. It does not drop any Big Bertha parts, I believe, but it is pretty strong. And see, it takes 2 hits from. So it's stronger than some of the mini bosses, than the actual boss. I mean, it has a boss bar, but it's some of the strongest of the Big Bertha parts. It drops bottles of enchanting, a bunch of unique items too. I don't believe any of those. Drops creeper repellent, it's very useful. The queen fight drops. Is that a? That's an attitude adjuster. So, very useful stuff. Creeper launcher, which I don't know how it works. Anyway, next up we have to showcase slash time set 0. Next we're gonna showcase the Leopardonyx, which is something from Avatar, and they can be found in the Red Ant Dimension, and you can tame them. They will attack you until you try to tame them, even if you spawn them, I believe. And Leopardonyx just flies around. It's pretty strong, and it can take a 500 Nightmare, I believe, and maybe a 750. I don't think it can, but it will lose to 750 or 1,000. Oh, does it spawn tamed? Maybe it can something creative. It's not attacking anything. Next up, we have the Criminal, and the Criminal will actually steal your gear. The Leopardonyx is going to kill that, but it drops a bunch of emeralds and, of course, all your stealed gear. Next up, we have the Brutafly. It's actually stronger than the regular Mothra. It's going to get killed, but, oh, there's a village nearby. Good to see, too, because there's cactus, which is very useful, in this. But it actually does not drop Mothra scale, so it does drop gold. Does it drop the Nether Star? I don't know. Next up, you're going to be kind of annoying, aren't you? I want to kill you, though. Next up, we have the Nastysaurus, which does not drop any Big Bertha parts, but is actually stronger than the T-Rex. And the Nastysaurus, basically, he's like this. He attacks you like the T-Rex would, but he'll just drop leather and iron and stuff like that. Next up, we have the Pointysaurus, and he's like a Triceratops, so he's pretty cool. All these sauruses found in the Red Ant Dimension. We have crickets. They're pretty common. Next up, we have the frog, and the frogs just spawn pretty often. They'll drop slime balls, I believe. But next up, we have Jeffrey, and Jeffrey actually drops a freaking ray gun. He will attack you. I don't want him destroying my setup, but he'll knock you back. So I recommend having an ultimate bow. It's going to be a long, long fight. And I don't know if he always drops in a freaking ray gun. Those are red robot ant kits and stuff, but you can also get spawn eggs. Drop the freaking ray gun so I can show the audience. You get Big Bertha. I don't believe it's 100% guaranteed, so that's kind of annoying. I think it's like a 50 chance. I remember getting on my second one. Next up, we have the Red Ant Robot. And I believe these are hostile, but I believe you also can get the kit. And I believe you can tame some of these and ride them. So that's pretty cool. If I spawn one, can I ride it? I remember these things crash the game sometimes. But they're pretty cool. Giant red robot ant. And let's get moving because this is a long video. Next up, we have... Okay, we're getting to the end. I'm just not gonna fight these things. I'm not even gonna fight them in creative. It's gonna take a while, so I'm just gonna use peaceful after I'm done with them. Next up, we have the not these things. The giant robot spawn ant, and it will spawn a giant robot spider, which I believe if you spawn it, I believe it's yours. And the robot driver. Now these are bad, and they'll drive them, but I believe if you kill them, they'll be fine. They spawn in the Red Ant Dimension, of course, too. And of course, we have these crabs, which spawn in the natural, and they're harmful, but they're not that dangerous. And finally, we have Mobzilla. And not finally, but Mobzilla's a dangerous boss. He'll drop Mobzilla spawn stuff. Great armor, better than ultimate. He's gonna destroy my setup. We have everything from it. But he'll shoot lightning. And I'm just gonna go into peaceful. Get him away. And next up, we have the King. King's stronger than Mobzilla. And will drop one of every item in the game up to 100, I believe. Then you might actually not get the Royal Guardian set, especially if you're playing with multiple mods. The chances are lower. I believe if you're just playing with Orespawn, is it guaranteed? I don't even know because there might be more than. I think there's more than 100 items. I mean, actually, I think there definitely is. I don't know what the limit was, but I'm not sure if it's guaranteed. Though there is a Tier 6 dungeon which will always drop the Royal Guardian set. And the King flies around and will attack things. He'll spawn by his Tree of Goodness. Or you can find his 9 spawn eggs, or 1 spawn egg, very rare. Or find his 9 spawn egg parts, or 1 spawn egg part, very rare. Or you find his spawn egg in the wild by the it's something in the Red Ant Dimension, which can also be spawned by the Brown Ant Dimension, which can also be spawned by the Random Judges Generator. Next up, we have the Queen, which is actually, I believe, neutral. But if you hit her, then she'll get angry and black. So if I can hit you quickly, excuse me. Try she's not killing them off. And then she gets black, and she'll spawn like purple powers. And I'd recommend having creeper repellent for it because they bypass armor, and then she can easily pick you. However, if you are brave and strong enough to defeat them, the Queen will drop Queen Scale and stuff like that, which we'll use to make the Queen's Battle Pass and the Queen's Armor. King will drop maybe the King Armor. But then you also get rewarded with these guys, guaranteed. They'll spawn naturally, and they'll insta be tamed to you. And the Prince and the princess. And they'll follow you like really good pets. Actually, a couple. And they're really strong. And they can actually be leveled up a little bit. So let me give you some diamond blocks. Oh my god, we're really... If you can move your fat ass. And is it diamonds? Do you need more? Are you greedy? I know it's diamond blocks for you. See, yeah, now he becomes the young prince. And then more will make him the young adult prince. But I believe that's as far as they can go. Because they will not become the king unless you download some special combo, which will make the ultimate king who's unkillable unless you use something like, let's say, the Oxygen Obliterator or the God Sword from this other mod that me and Lo use. The Oxygen Obliterator from the Mobs Godzilla mod. That's all I have to show you guys today in the Orespawn mod. This is going to be a very long video, and I still didn't even cover everything. Actually, I just want to show one thing. Wait, it's somewhere. It's in the miscellaneous. Also there's spawn eggs for these things, but, what was it gonna be? It was something. You know what, oh, it was the thing that spawned the tree of goodness. I wanted to showcase that, but I cannot find it soon. Then I might just go, okay, you know what? This is already a long enough video, so smash like, subscribe. I showcased a lot. It's a very big mod. I'd recommend playing it for yourself. If you have the ability to. It's on 1.710. Just look up Orespawn mod. There'll be download links to it, not the official website. But see you guys next time, and remember to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Not as chunky as I thought.